What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, we went for a little excursion away from our ice lake, where we found our, well, ice. And we managed to find a pretty decent chunk of cobalt, which, for those of you that may or may not be aware, it basically means that we can work on building ships with atmospheric thrusters now, because the atmospheric thrusters I don't have on my hotbar anywhere, apparently. Seriously, where'd they go? They're there. So, even on a small grid, they require at least one metal grid, and if my memory serves, metal grids, you guessed it, require some cobalt. Yep. One cobalt for one grid. So we basically need one cobalt for however many thrusters we're wanting to build. Oh, that's so nice, I can use my jetpack again. So I went ahead and did a creative build, and I did a blueprint for, kind of like I did with the turtle rover here. I kind of planned out my design for a driller, and the reason I did that was, I mean, for obvious reasons, is just that if we're moving, if we're mobile, right, and we're roaming around, and we need to go from the ice lake to here to there to wherever, it's just easier with a drone because maybe we don't need to move this whole thing. Maybe we can fly it over there, or we can leave this over there, fly it over there, or just in terms of volume, that even though I went ahead and upgraded to like an advanced, or whatever this is, an enhanced, not advanced, hand drill, it still takes a while by hand to mine everything, and we kind of wore out our main home base area because I would have to modify the drill. So it just seemed to make sense that now's about the time for a driller drone. So the one thing I'm not sure about how I want to go about doing it is how to build it. I don't have a landing gear really set up on it. It's designed to connect to this connector to the turtle rover. So I'm not sure if I can... You know what? Let me try it. I was going to say, I'm not sure if I can build a connector and just attach it to this one, like you can with certain other, like, merge blocks. Oh, I need steel plates to try that. Okay. So, that may be an option, because, well... Alright, we're gonna have to try it anyway. The reason that it may or may not be a good option... Where's my steel plates? Is this on? This thing might not be on. Turtle rover, not on. There we go. Okay. Now, the reason that this may or may not work... Oh! There's only like a stack of them in there, oh well. Is because it's a small grid. I decided to go with a small grid on this one to maximize materials. I know I have a jetpack. I was trying to be efficient, but it's just not working. So, let's see here. If we set this to a small grid, will you snap to it? You will not. Okay, well, that's not comforting. I suppose I could... I don't actually know how I want to do this. I'm thinking I'm going to have to build a scaffold of some kind, because I don't know of another way to go about... You need steel plates. I have steel plates. I have a bunch of steel plates. What are you talking about? Wait, where did they all go? Did they not transfer? I'm confused. Oh, that was weird. I drug them up to the cockpit and not to me. Well, let's reconfirm. I don't think this will work anyway. No, it's not snapping to it. I mean, it will snap type of thing. It's just not doing it like a merge block would. So, I don't think that's an option, or at least not a good one. But I can build scaffolding off of here. Now, some of you might be wondering why. Well, the main reason is I don't have to build a battery to power the projector if I build it off of here. It'll be connected to this grid. Now, the only problem... Well, no, it shouldn't be a problem because of the projector. Okay, I was going to say the only problem is going to be the fact that it's a small grid ship. However, I think it'll be okay. So, I'm going to tinker with this for a minute and see if I can't get this built. And I don't really know in terms of resources how bad this is going to be. I've made it intentionally... Why am I stuck here? What is happening? That was really weird. I made it intentionally with low resource costs in mind. So I barely put... I don't think I even put any armor blocks on it. Like, it is just bare bones. I don't actually remember what the projector needs, so I'm just going to grab a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and weld up this projector, get the blueprint going, and then try and see if we can... It does need large tubes. The one thing that I thought I wouldn't need... Alright, fine. I don't... That's got to be the angle. That's got to be because we're on a hill. But it's weird. I can walk up, like, sideways and backwards, and he eventually... That's just... Space Engineers is sometimes still a bit derpy. So yeah, I'm going to work on that, and I will be back momentarily for you guys after I have finished that. Alrighty, so we have inevitably hit the point in the episode where we get the good news, bad news of why the original plan is not working as intended. So, believe it or not, I've hit a different bottleneck than I expected to hit. Remember, my original one was cobalt, which we've obviously got plenty of cobalt. That's not a problem. And we've actually gotten a good chunk of iron because I managed to actually find in digging down here, when I was digging in the cobalt mine shaft down there, there's actually iron down there as well. So that was useful. Now, the one thing that I wasn't expecting to be a bottleneck is nickel. Now, if I can find a nickel deposit, this probably won't be a big deal. And I don't know why, but for some reason I just now kind of thought of maybe turning the ore detector back on and seeing if it can find nickel, which is 123 meters away. So that's an easy fix. The reason being motors. Motors are the reason. Because while there's only one metal grid, there's 18 motors per thruster. Now, as you can see here, I've got a pretty decent amount of thrusters. It's probably a little bit of overkill, but when it comes to atmospheric thrusters, I always play it a little safer because out in space, there's nothing really pulling you down. But in, planetary atmospheres, we have gravity. So there's that. Let me see if I can find this nickel deposit. That's iron. I'm hoping I can do it with just my enhanced drill and not have to leave. There we go. So yeah, that's one thing. So basically, the problem is that I need like 1.3-ish nickel for every motor, and each thruster has 18 motors. So I got a crap ton of nickel that I need, but luckily we found a deposit here, so this should alleviate a lot of the problem. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dig another mine shaft, but it's kind of boring and loud, so yeah, we're just gonna do that off camera. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is the part with Space Engineers that I dubbed relatively frustrating because it doesn't really make any sense at all to me. So I have tested this rig in creative, and it runs fine. Like, it can hover fine on its own. But for some reason, every time, I've tried this 3 times now, every time I've disconnected the projector, or even the rotor for that matter, the thing like turns off and flips over and crashes and blows up. And it's kind of annoying because I took all this time to build it, and I know it'll fly, so I don't know why it's not flying. So what I do is I go in and I make sure the gyroscopes are on. Actually, never mind. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Are the batteries off? I think the battery's off. I did that because... Yep, the battery's off. That's why. Alright, so it's not the game's fault. It's my fault. Alright. Fair enough. I retract my previous statement. The reason I did that was because I didn't want the little driller drone here to drain all of the power from this guy, because it was already having a little bit of a power issue with all the production stuff we were doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the connector on, and in case you were wondering, I ground down the projector down to one plate because if the thrusters hurt it, I don't want to lose any valuable materials that might be useful to us later. So we'll turn that on, and as you can see, it's doing a little bit of damage, but then it kind of does that thing, but we're okay. Okay, good. So yeah, it was the battery. I didn't have the battery on. That's what was doing it. So that was my bad. I'll own that. Alright. So now, let's get her connected up properly, like, to this, and we'll turn this back off. Let's see, what else? I probably should add gyroscope controls. Where's the groups? Do I have a group for gyroscopes? I don't. Okay. I had them disabled because I didn't think I would need them, and I usually put everything in a power toggle type thing. However, I'm finding that doesn't work as well as just having each individual thing laid out, because I'm actually just going to add them to a group. The reason being that some things, in some instances, you want on, some you don't, yada yada yada. Now the one thing I could do is leave these out of the main menu, oops, like that, now that I've got a group for it. Let's see, so we've got all of this. I'm actually going to remove this group because I don't think it's as useful as I was hoping it would be. We'll put that there. So that's most of my main controls. There's an ore detector on here. The battery's set up to charge. Now, I don't know if the game is super accurate enough to where this blockage of the drills in front of the solar panels is going to be a problem or not. It very well could be, but I don't really know, to be sure. So, I'm going to leave it there, and we'll see in a little bit. Where's the... There it is. So yeah, we've got the driller drone, or I say driller drone, it's our mining ship. We got our mining ship set up now. Now, at this point, I don't know if... Yeah, see, our batteries are not looking too hot. I don't know if 2 solar panels is enough. That's the only thing. And see, this is what I was kind of afraid of, is I'm betting this battery is doing okay. I mean, it's depleting in 8 hours, but if I turn that off, let's try that. Let's see, do we get any... that's not looking too hot. 6-hour depletion. Okay. We're gonna have to do some power management here. That's off. Okay, we need to turn that off first of all. This ship was not designed, or this rover, rather, was not exactly designed to, yeah, see, now I have 3 days worth of power. So, this wasn't really designed to run the assembler, refinery, all that stuff all the time. It was kind of designed to turn it on, do what you needed to do, and then turn it back off. So, yeah, there's that. Now, I could work on getting the gyroscope up and running, because I do think we've got some materials that would be useful. I laid out, too, the materials required for a wind farm or a wind turbine. Though I did try and actually build it on this leg over here while this was being built, and it turns out you can't build a wind turbine on a large ship. It has to be on a base. So that's interesting, or a station, rather. Now, I could just snap a merge block on here. Actually, what do merge blocks cost? I haven't really checked some of these things. So this isn't too bad. It's computer, large steel tube, motor, construction component, and steel. That's not really that big of a deal. I did not mean to rhyme there, but it does happen from time to time. So we could just do a merge block and a merge block on a basic scaffold with a wind turbine if we wanted to help power. Why? Why can I not get up here? That's so stupid. Alright, anyway, moving along. We could do that if the power becomes an actual legitimate concern. And it may not be a bad thing now that we've got a miner that's set up as well. So there is that. What do I need for these? Girders. This would pretty much be when we get to the point of excess resources. Now I could... Can I get to this? I don't think I can get to this without breaking this catwalk. Now that we have cobalt, though, I could actually work on trying to repair or complete the rest of these storage crates. So that's an option as well. I think I might, actually. Let me see. What do these need? Just 4 metal grids. And I can't quite see if that's the same one or not, but I'm guessing I did it the same way, that only needs a few metal grids as well. Do I have any, is the question. I do have 5, so that's good. And you know what? I am going to grab all of these loose components that I have here, and I'm going to dump them into that gyroscope just to see what we have left. First, I'm going to try and do this. Okay, it is this one. Dagnabbit. I was hoping it wouldn't be, but oh well. Now, I believe there are 4, so I will... Wait, are there 4? There's... Why do I get so stuck on everything? Alright, oh, there's 1. So 1, 2, 3... Did I have 4 in this? I don't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 of them are now done. Where's the 4th one, though? I've lost a cargo container. There's one there. That's a metal plate. Where'd the other one go? That's there. Oh, right there. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is raise the wheel height, if I can remember which one that is. I don't think that's it. That's speed. I can't remember which one that is. I really thought it was that one. Alright, let's try the other way. Maybe I need to go negative. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we were at about 60. Alright, so I think that's as high as it'll go. Now, where... Need to place you back. There we go. Before I actually dump everything into this, let's go ahead and take a peek. Oh yeah, somehow I never finished that one either. That was weird. I'm still not really sure how that happened. That one's okay. Alright, there's our other culprit. Okay. So we need to hit that one, and... Nope, that one's okay. Is the other one down here? There it is. So we need to do that and that. And I'm fairly sure... Yeah, so we need 4 on the one, 3 on the other. So we need 7. And then I'll need to make sure I have the materials for the catwalk. So I won't be able to do that quite yet. This says we're out of nickel. There's no way we're out of nickel, though, because I think I have like 1,000 ore still in here. Yeah, there it is. I was like, yeah, there's no way that I'm out of nickel. And we've even got some up here as well. So, now the iron part shouldn't be an issue either. Yeah, it's already done. Okay. Let's turn these back off in the interest of power. And then let's grab these and finish these all up. Now, I'm kind of done with what I wanted to get done this episode. I'm actually a little bit early than I expected, which is abnormal. Mainly because I didn't do a whole lot of recording of stuff in between. I just kind of showed you guys a couple of things and then waited till I did all the grind work, which was admittedly a while. It took me a good minute to do the miner ship. That was not simple. I mean, it was simple, but it was very time consuming. But it's done, so we're better off there. And we got the storage crates and stuff squared away, which is cool. Now, the only thing with the miner ship that I need 7 small steel tubes to finish that catwalk off. The only thing with the miner ship that I didn't really anticipate, but through testing and other things, I've kind of figured out that it's a relative, or going to be a relative issue, is the way that I laid out. I didn't really go over and break down the design of the ship that much, so I guess we can do that for the final part. I put the drills in this area to try and make sure that it cleared a big enough gap that we could fit the whole ship through and kind of just bore a tunnel. If need be, I could route another set of conveyors and put a flipped drill up on top if it's still not making enough of a space. I think the connector and stuff should clear. It should be okay because the drills usually bore a little bit of a bigger hole than their radius. And of course, obviously, I've got battery storage container. And since everything was hooked up through the small connector ports anyway, I didn't bother hooking up the large connector on the storage container, and I used the large port to connect to the connector for the cockpit. And then we've got a couple of gyroscopes and a light to make things a little bit easier, ore detector, and a beacon. Now, the one thing is I've only put 2 actually reverse thrusters, and there's a lot of thrusters, and I didn't put any downward thrusters because we're in gravity, so I don't really need them. However, if I were to flip it and go straight down towards this ground and go perpendicular or parallel to the gravity, I don't know if these 2 thrusters would be enough to keep it stabilized or if it would just start descending on its own and kind of get stuck on the ground. So this is kind of designed as a horizontal drill type thing, so we're probably going to just bore into like a mountain type setup. I think that's going to be the way we're going to use this. One other note that I wanted to make, and I meant to actually make it at the beginning, but this is kind of a PSA type thing. I've been having a bit of issues with my recording software and my editing software. A bit of issues on both ends. So if you see any weird artifacts or anything, let me know if something gets blurred outside of, like, you know, buffering lag, that if you have a slow connection and it gets a little slightly low resolution or something. That's not what I mean. I mean if you notice garbled video data, discoloration. In one of my Subnautica videos, I had just an orange screen pop up for no reason. I'm not really sure where that came from. I'm 90% sure it happened when I was done editing and rendered the video. But I've changed up some of my OBS settings, and it makes the files much bigger, but I basically went to a lossless rather than... I think I had it on a CBR, which is like a constant bit rate or something. But I think what was happening is if anything got too busy on the screen, like there's too much going on, too much fast pace, too many colors, you know, not to give anyone a seizure, but basically if you start doing like this kind of stuff and there's a lot of data going on, I don't think the bitrate I had it set for could handle it. And so I went and I tried to tweak my settings. So let me know if you guys think it looks better, worse, same, or anything in between. But with that, I think we're going to wrap things up for this episode. I know it was a little bit probably dull on your guys' end because I was just kind of building, but we are set up now with a miner, so we're going to go mining next episode. That's going to be, we're going to test this out, I think. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.